I will call this meeting to order at 10 o'clock. Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
Morning.
I will read the land acknowledgement. The city of Thorold is situated on treaty land. This land is steeped in the rich history of the First Nations, such as the Haudenosaunee, the Atiwandorong, and the Anishinaabe, including the Mississaugas of the Credit First Nation. There are many First Nations, Métis, and Inuit people from across Turtle Island that live and work in Niagara. The city of Thorold stands with all Indigenous people, past and present, in promoting the wise stewardship of the lands on which we live. Thank you. Are there any declarations of interest? Nope. Then we'll move on to the adoption of the agenda. Can I get a mover and a seconder, please? Tim has moved, Linda has seconded. All those in favor? Anyone opposed? No, then that's carried. And moving on to the adoption of the minutes of our last meeting, which was November 25th. Can I get a mover and a seconder for that? Linda has moved. Jonathan has seconded. All those in favor? Anyone opposed? No, then that is carried as well. Correspondence. First of all, we are joined today by Mark Davidson and Nancy Reed from the Planning Department. We also have our almost former rep, Nick, joining us. As was already mentioned last time, Nancy will be taking over as our heritage planning rep in the future. I want to formally welcome her to the committee. It will be great working with you, Nancy. Really looking forward to that. And Nick, thank you so much for everything you have done for us, for your support and your advice. It was incredible working with you, and maybe we will again in the future at one point. It was really a pleasure. Thank you very much.
You're very welcome. It was very enjoyable, and I enjoyed helping the committee out. And yes, happy to lend a hand whenever it's needed.
Great. Thank you. That's very much appreciated.
You're welcome.
Other correspondence items, I have a few. There's first the official plan consolidation and gaps analysis for official plan conformity. Final report. Justin, I must admit I didn't read that massive document you sent. I did read the introductory sort of summary though. And so at their meeting on January 13th, 2026, Council passed Report DS2-2026 regarding official plan consolidation gaps analysis for OP conformity in this final report. I don't know whether you read the, yes? Oh yeah, if you want.
Through you, Madam Chair, I just, maybe for committee's benefit, there was a presentation that was done by the consultants at that council meeting. And if people are interested in actually maybe getting a Coles Notes of the very onerous report, they could watch the presentation by the consultant, because it summarizes it pretty well as to what we're doing. So that might be the best path forward if anyone has an interest in reading a policy document like that.
Okay, great. Thank you so much, Mark. I also want to point out that one of the points in that shorter summary that was sent to all of us, it does say that there will be consultations with various city committees in the middle of 2026. The process won't be finished until the end of 2027 at the earliest. But we will have a chance to give advice and input into what is being worked on. Any comments from anyone? Yes, Mark?
Just to add to that, I think because this is an election year, we'll be doing it probably before June. We'll be getting out to all our committees, so that it should be happening sooner than later.
All right. Thank you. Any comments? No? Morning, Ricardo. Then moving on to the next correspondence item. This concerns the proposed parking lot at 8 Carlton Street. I've heard a couple of times now that there are claims that neither the Heritage nor Environment Committees have been consulted about this project. I can't speak for the Environment Committee, but as far as this committee is concerned, this matter has come up at least twice, once about 2 years ago when it was first introduced. The project was first introduced to the committee by Public Works, and then again in our last meeting. You can read up on that in our minutes. But to disperse any doubts, just to reiterate very briefly, you might remember there was some confusion about the boundaries of the designated park in the beginning because the original bylaw stated that it only the designated area extended only to the Welland Street Road allowance. And then an amendment to this bylaw was brought to our attention in which these boundaries were altered to include the additional parkland up to the existing 8 Carlton Street parking lot, and from there in a straight line down to Albert Street. And when this amendment was put to, was shown to the city, to city staff, they altered their plans and made that parking lot smaller. I just want to say here, probably all of us are extremely grateful to the resident who found this bylaw amendment, and I certainly am. The designation of that park goes back to 2007. I didn't move here until 2019 and was unaware of this bylaw amendment, as was city staff. So it was fortunate that longer-standing residents remembered and searched for this document, and it was also fortunate that city staff and council chose to respect the boundaries set in this amendment. The parking lot, as it is proposed now, does not encroach on Memorial Park. The city still commits to additional planting on its periphery to minimize impact. No heritage resources are being destroyed or endangered by this project, nor will it imperil the heritage value of the park itself. Therefore, this is not a matter for Heritage Thorold to get involved in. But please, if any of you have any comments, do so now. No? Then we'll move on. Next item on the correspondence, I was sent a note from City Hall that somebody had contacted them about a cultural heritage report that was commissioned about the Hagar Swayze House. It is not a designated structure, years ago, but it was never published. This person wanted access to this report. I was at first extremely hesitant about this until I found out that it was a historian who wanted access to the report. I got in touch with her, and she is very sincere in her research. However, what this particular report, why she is interested in having access to this report, is that she herself is writing a report for the listing agent of this property. The Hagar Swayze House and the attached farmland is on the market right now for a considerable amount of money. The listing agent would like to forward a report about the history of the building to a prospective buyer, which is very commendable. I sought advice with Sarah, however, who wrote the report that was commissioned by Heritage Thorold. And this report was commissioned with the intent to designate the Hagar Swayze House under the Ontario Heritage Act. After the report was written, the owners drew back their consent to designate, and the house was never designated. I have since also found out that Pam Minns, who was a major advocate and long-term member of the Heritage Committee, always insisted that heritage documents commissioned by the committee have a copyright, and that they should not be given out unless they are published, as would be the case if the property were designated. If we gave out this report, it would set a precedent that any report we commissioned can be accessed by property owners, even if they, in the end, decide not to designate. So it's Sarah's and my opinion that the report should not be made publicly available until such a time when a future owner might decide to protect this property under the Heritage Act. Mm-hmm. Have I made myself properly clear? I was meandering a bit.
Yes.
If there's any questions, please let me know. No? Anything from you about this, or Nick?
Through Madam Chair, I wholeheartedly agree with your decision on that one. So.
Okay. It was also theoretically the report written by this young historian is for a somewhat commercial reason. The house is up for sale, so I think we should hold back. I'm sure her own research is comprehensive and will be sufficient for a report to be given over to a prospective buyer, basically as a freebie. Okay, if there are no more comments regarding this, then we'll move on. That's it for correspondence issues from my end. We'll move on to financial. I finally submitted the invoice for the Remembrance Day wreath. And I also submitted our last invoice for last year, which is the one for the Cultural Heritage Report on Old Lakeview Cemetery. So that is at planning right now, and so we won't submit anything else until the new budget year. Then if there are no comments regarding that, we'll move on to ongoing business, installation of history plaques and for designated properties. No news there at the moment. But our next issue on under this column is the status update on a heritage permit for the city of Thorold. And here I hand the mic over to Nancy.
Thank you. So we also have Nick online, as you all know, and if there's any specific questions, he and I can help to answer them. So after Christmas or during Christmas, Nick provided, excuse me, a consultant memo from him that identifies opportunities to improve the clarity regarding a future heritage permitting process. The memo included a wide range of best practices, and Nick and his team have recommended 3 complementary tools that we are going to be working on over the next month or so. The tools are a public FAQ that we'll add to the website, just to clarify when a heritage permit is required, and that is for designated properties only. When a heritage property is not required, so anything maybe on a registry, typical timelines and steps, and this is all just intended to reduce confusion and unnecessary applications. Excuse me. The second tool would be a heritage permit application form. Nothing significant, fairly straightforward, that would ask for a description of the scope of proposed work, impacts to heritage attributes, materials, design details, And this is, again, intended to improve clarity, especially at intake. And so there's not a ton of back and forth. The third tool would be a heritage permit guide that more broadly explains how permits are received, applications are received and reviewed, basic conservation principles used for decision making. We'll talk about the relationship between heritage permits and other approvals, and it's meant to be an educational tool. So again, Nick's group looked at a wide range of best practices. So we're pretty confident that this process or this proposed framework really fits in with what the rest of Ontario municipalities are doing. Our favorite best practice is the town of Grimsby, which is a fairly new framework. And we liked it because it had clear expectations for applicants, strong alignment between what staff does, the committee does, and what council does, emphasis on conservation principles over very prescriptive rules. But of course, the work we do for Thorold will be tailored to our local context. And next steps, we hope to, in February, circulate our draft materials to this committee. Those materials will be incorporated, or your feedback will be incorporated, and then we'll release the materials publicly once endorsed by council. So we're hoping to move quickly on this, and we look forward to giving you an update in February. Any questions?
Thank you so much for this breakdown. Councillor?
Thank you, Madam Chair. Through you to Nancy. Nancy, how do we ensure, once this is developed, and I think it's a great idea, how do we ensure that real estate, the real estate industry knows about it? I mean, one thing that did occur in the past was someone purchased a heritage property here in Thorold and didn't really understand the requirements of owning a heritage property. So that, in my opinion, would have been the fault of the realtor not being able to present the materials to the buyer. So is there a way that Grimsby deals with that? Thank you.
Through Madam Chair. I would first, I'll ask Nick to expand on that based on his best practices work, but certainly the educational document can be widely shared, both online and maybe to the real estate community. But did you find anything else in your research, Nick, on that?
Thank you. Yeah, we've noticed that approaches certainly do vary from municipality to municipality. It is up to the purchaser to make themselves aware of any historical protections on the property. That doesn't always happen. The committee I sat on, what they did is when they knew there was a new property owner or a property for sale, they would just send out information to the realtor about the property and just making sure that they're aware of the designation on the property. That tends to help. But I think what works really well is if the municipality has good resources on the website so people can go and take a look at it. And like you said, make that available to the real estate community too, just so that they know it's there. Being able to look on a website and just see details about a property and its designation, I find that's really helpful. And as someone in the consulting world too, it's really handy to just go onto a municipal website and you've got everything right there.
Thank you, Nick. In our meeting early last week, I think one of the things that came up was that the heritage permit would have to be come before any other building permit. Is that correct?
Through you, Madam Chair, that's correct.
Yeah. Here, of course, before anyone can get approval on any alterations to a building, if it's a heritage building, they need to have that heritage permit first, which obviously would limit, in some cases, the building permits that would be issued to this property. Am I correct there?
Can you?
If, let's say, let's say somebody was not aware about the heritage attributes or how they have to be preserved before they can change them. They would need to get that heritage permit before they can get a building permit to actually go ahead and do that.
That's correct. Do you have anything to add to that, Nick?
No, I think that covers it pretty well.
Yeah.
But that's right, that when someone would apply for something through a building permit, it would get flagged that there's there's heritage designation on the property. And I'll add too that by having the separate heritage permit form, it does give the opportunity to address things that may not be caught by a building permit, because there are some things that a property owner may wish to do or that they may not even be aware. But if you're doing work that doesn't need a building permit, the heritage permit is an avenue to make sure that's addressed too.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
So theoretically, there would be something in place that would prevent somebody just building something that is not appropriate. However, what it doesn't address is the potential frustration on the part of a new property owner who has purchased this property without being fully aware of what is allowed and what isn't. So any kind of information that could be made available to the real estate community and that would certainly be of benefit so that people are clear from the start what they are buying. We also don't want to scare people because it's really, in most cases, not such a headache as it sounds right now. I mean, you would have to do something rather major in order for it not to be allowed. And so unless complete redevelopment or complete changes to the exterior are intended, most of the time things can be worked out so that the new owner can work within the framework of what is allowed under the Heritage Act. Any comments? Yes, Mary?
Thank you, Madam Chair. I wonder if we could revisit the concept of educating realtors on the entire process of heritage properties. And, because it seems like you said, there's a lot of confusion and reticence about heritage properties because people don't know the real rules.
Yes, that's true.
And I know we were contacting, I think, was it Lally?
Yes.
Yeah. And what did, forgive me if I don't see it in my notes, but I don't think anything ever came of that, or if it did, I missed it. Sorry.
Yeah, I know. I know this has come up over this entire term to have an information evening with real estate agents. And,
yes,
we were at the point where we had almost set a date a couple of times and it never happened.
Yes.
So, yes, we can't force them to make the time for this. We will have our public information day at the end of March, though, and maybe we should send invitations to real estate agents for this as well to make them aware of that and maybe drop by on that Saturday afternoon to listen in to what we have to say.
Yes.
But Jonathan?
Thank you, Madam Chair. Just also, once the rules are published, like actually sending a package to at least the Thorold-based realtors saying this is new and making sure they're aware of it might not be a bad idea.
I think that's a good idea, definitely. And of course, we have that list of recommendations to real estate agents, which was much more informal and not bound by any bylaw. But once this is more, and of course it was meant to be handed out to real estate agents during these planned information sessions, which never happened. But once we have something that is, sort of where there's sort of a legal aspect to it, then we have to make sure that that also gets to the people that matter just as much as the new owner, because the real estate agent is the one who is selling the place.
Yeah.
And so they should know about the property that they're selling.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay, so let's make a definite note of that so that that happens. I also really like the fact that the requirements would be maybe published on the city website so that it's accessible for people who just want to check it out themselves.
Anna, Linda.
Yes, Linda.
It's their fiduciary duty to know everything they can about the property. So they need to do that searching as well.
Yes.
It's a realtor's duty to know what everything about that property.
Yeah.
And so they should know about the heritage part of it. Yeah.
Any other comments? Nope. Then we move on and we look forward to what you're going to bring to us next month.
Likewise. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Nancy. All right, then moving on to new business, St. John's Heritage Site designation. I had a call from Adam at the NPCA. The NPCA team that deals with this designation is meeting with their legal team on February 3rd. They will be going over Sarah's report to flag anything that they might want to change the wording of, just for ease of operations of their own organization. He told me that there was very little that they have issue with. They might want to specify a little bit more about the designated architectural features of the two buildings that are to be designated, and in which way they would be repaired, should that be necessary. The NPCA themselves will provide the wording so that Sarah doesn't have to do that, and Sarah can approve it and include it into the report. And then the NPCA board meeting to give final approval is on March 27th. Our intention is to pass notice of intent in the council meeting of March 24th. If we have everything in this document that needs to be submitted to council to ask for notice, to pass notice of intent, if everything is basically according to the cultural heritage report, whether it was slightly modified or not, then we can be certain that the NPCA won't have any objections to the designation once they pass the vote in their board meeting. Adam has asked whether they could possibly see the draft of the notice of intent ahead of time. I asked you, Nancy, already about that. You said you might look into that and see whether that would be legit. I ensured Adam that the notice of intent or the ensuing bylaw would not contain any obligations that aren't called for in the cultural heritage report. So unless there are any demands made that go past that, which the NPCA will already have reviewed, then there shouldn't be any problems to get this project going. Are there any comments regarding this? Yes, Nancy?
Perhaps while we have Nick on, we could get his thoughts on circulating in advance.
Thank you. I believe that that is done sometimes just to help ensure there's clarity in the process to see what will be captured in the designation. Um, I want to just double check, but I don't think there's any reason not to, if that helps.
Okay, great. So if you could let us know that, that would be fantastic. And the only persons it would go to is the organizers at the NPCA and their legal team. So it wouldn't be published to anybody else at that point.
Okay.
Okay, any other comments? No? Then moving on to the next item, Old Lakeview Cemetery Cultural Report. It is written. It is outstanding as usual. It's incredibly extensive and complex because there are issues in terms of legislation in there that were necessary because as of now, the lands still belong to Transport Canada and not to Thorold. Since that is still the case now, I don't think we can look at a designation this year, especially since this year is only half a year. So we will defer that until the new term, but if and when these lands are transferred to the city, then we would like to go ahead with designating this property. The report obviously supports that notion that Old Lakeview Cemetery is a worthy candidate for heritage designation. Any comments? No? Okay, then moving on to Heritage Awards and the working group that dealt with guidelines for discussion by this committee. Jonathan, do you want to speak to that?
Sure. Do we need to read it all in, or do we have to?
Well, in the package that you received, there was a list of guidelines that Jonathan, Tim, and I came up with. Don't know whether you guys read them, but...
Thank you, Madam Chair. It is number 71 of 71 pages, so it's right at the bottom. So it was we braved the snow to meet, which was great. And we also did a bit of a review of some other municipalities and what they do for the Heritage Awards and making sure that we were obviously doing our own, but like mind or got some ideas that we were in the right ballpark. So the big thing was that to recognize individuals or groups who have made a significant contribution to preservation, protection, or promotion of Thorold's architectural, cultural, or natural heritage. Oh, there we go. We had a good discussion about the criteria and that the recipients must be residents or owners in Niagara, that they do not have to be heritage professionals, that there's other people that make a contribution as well. Sites must be located within Thorold. Projects can involve any type of property, buildings, parklands, woodlands. Project sites do not have to be designated. And contributions can be completed or ongoing, and current members of the Heritage Committee are not eligible. The good discussion around what the contributions could include, and settled on restoration, conservation, or adapted reuse of heritage buildings or sites, education or outreach related to the local heritage, or activities to increase community appreciation of heritage, research and documentation related to local heritage. Nominations can be nominated by the committee, by city staff, members of the public, The nomination should state their type of contribution and its significance. And Heritage Thorold will select the recipients according to the chosen criteria through discussion and consensus. At the bottom, the number and frequency of the awards. The awards can be presented annually or at any interval determined by the Heritage Thorold. The award is not required to be presented every year, and multiple recipients may be recognized under certain circumstances. So, I guess I'm not sure there's any discussion. Anyone has any thoughts about it, but we thought this covers a wide range of people who have a contribution to heritage in Thorold. So,
Thank you very much, Jonathan. Yes, Councillor?
Thank you, Madam Chair. Through you to Justin. Can you scroll that back up to the top just for a sec? Thanks. So I just want to clarify one thing that I just realized now. We three who worked on it understand it, but just for the committee and staff, under criteria to be discussed, it says recipients must be residents or property owners in Niagara, and then down a couple more points it says project sites must be located in Thorold. So it doesn't necessarily mean that the recipient will have a property in Thorold, especially if it's not, if the award is not about a particular property, but rather how they have contributed to heritage in Niagara. So just a little point to clear those two up. Thank you.
Thank you. Does anyone have anything to add, or should anything not be in there? No. How about the others on? Oh yeah, right. Linda, Mary, David, Wynne, any comments?
I have one, Anna.
Yeah.
I'm wondering if somebody could email that to us, because we don't seem to have received that.
It was right at the end of the package, past the official plan document, which was 70 pages long.
All right, thank you. I'll look then again. Thank you.
Okay. But if you still don't have it, let me know and I'll email it to you.
Thank you. I'm sure it's there at the bottom. I just was going too quickly.
Okay.
Thanks.
So, yes, Nancy?
Will this information also be going on the website?
It probably should, right? What are your thoughts about that, Justin, or you two from planning?
Through you, Madam Chair, I think it's appropriate. Obviously, if we want to make sure that all of the information for heritage is on there, I think we should try and make it all in one spot on the website, so it's easy for access. So.
Right, yeah, thank you. Speaking of the website, I know that the city is going to incorporate the Heritage website into the city website. Any update on when that will possibly happen?
Through the chair, I don't, but there is a deadline, so I think it has to be done by mid this year, if I'm not mistaken. But
okay. So do we delay putting this on the website right now? Because then we would have to ask the current website organizer. Could you call him an organizer? I am terrible with techno stuff. Please excuse me. Then we would have to ask him to do that, whereas if the city can do it once it's the city's website, then, then that would probably be easier. I don't know whether, Wynne, sorry, didn't see the yellow hand.
Oh, no worries. My question is just a bit more on the technical end. Have we thought through yet exactly how the nomination process will go? Like if we put it on a website, will there be a forum or a general email where people can reach out to nominate someone or like, make us aware of who they want to nominate so we can consider that? Or is this still something we're thinking about?
Yes, Jonathan?
Just to piggyback on that, there's no sort of time frame. I know we've kind of left it open, but like if people were going to nominate from the public, the idea whether it was like at the end of the year or something that we would kind of consider if we wanted to give it a time frame, even if no one was actually put forward.
Yeah. Yes, Councillor?
Thank you, Madam Chair. What about having nominations during Heritage Month?
Not a bad idea. Thank you very much for bringing that up, Jonathan. That's a really good point. We don't want to be inundated with nominations, so it would be good if there were a window when people can nominate somebody. I think that should be, well, I also put that question to Nancy and maybe Nick. Maybe that should be done directly to the Heritage Committee rather than publicly. What are your thoughts on that?
Nick, do you have any thoughts on this?
I think it could be either way. The committee I sat on, the nominations were done by the Heritage Committee. So the Heritage Committee got together through a subcommittee, if I recall, to look at potential nominees for the year, and we did try to have the nominees coincide with Heritage Month, and we had a Heritage Day event often, so we would present awards at that event too. So if that's something the committee is looking at, having a future Heritage Day or Heritage Month event, that would be a good time even to recognize. So maybe you'd want to have nominations done in advance, maybe, to start the new year. End of January could be a thing, or to finish off the previous year, and then you could present any awards at your Heritage Day event.
Mm-hmm. The reason why I brought this up, whether the nominations should be public or be brought to the committee, is people might nominate people who are just not, who we wouldn't give that award to. And if you do public nominations, people might get their hopes up. And I'm not sure whether that is a wise thing to do rather than bringing the nominations directly to the committee. Does anybody else have thoughts about that? Yes, Justin?
So yeah, through you, similar to how the age-friendly awards for Senior of the Year, they are on the website, they receive it, a working group reviews them, and then council ultimately approves them. Mm-hmm. The other thing we might want to do is you might want to talk to the city clerk about this as well. I don't know if any committee can just create an award and just it's good to go, or if council needs to approve this. I don't know what steps should be taking at this point. So we might want to talk with him. Yeah.
So this still needs to be, obviously, now that it's more official, like this really was the way it was in the past, Justin, that, the Heritage Committee would just give this award. There was no approval from council sought. It was, the Heritage Committee decided they are worthy of an award and they got it. So this is going to be a little bit more official now. So we should probably, ask Nicholas, the city clerk, to review this and let us know what the next steps are, and whether council approval of the nominees is necessary or not, and what is the most appropriate way of going about it, whether it's public or done sort of in camera. I guess what we also want to, if it's public, then we should probably encourage people to, to really have a good reason for a nomination. But I guess that's also in the criterias that Jonathan introduced, that when nominations are made, the achievement should be listed and the reasons given. Yes, Councillor.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I think if we were to create a form that is also associated with the award, a fill-in-the-blank type of form, asking specific questions, then we can already see that certain categories have been attained and therefore are worthy of consideration, rather than just, well, I'd like to nominate Bob because he likes old cars and, you know, that sort of thing. So nothing against old cars. I like old cars too. But I'm wondering also, through you, Madam Chair, to Justin, do we need to have a motion on this so we can confirm that the committee is behind this this idea?
So through the chair, possibly. I don't know if you want to create the form and get some of those other things in order first, and then talk to the clerk just to see where we're at, what steps are, then we can move forward with that.
Yeah. Okay.
That'd be my suggestion.
So most likely we won't have any heritage awards this year, simply because it's so short and this hasn't been completely set in stone yet. But in the new term, this is then maybe in place and we can go from there and have them regularly again. And yes, Jonathan?
Sorry, I'd just say one thing, that I think laying this out, you might get more people put forward. And at the end of the day, that might not be a bad thing, that it's got more awareness in the city and we're actually celebrating.
Yeah.
Not like there's this sort of pinnacle of people who have made such a contribution, but going maybe down a little bit. But
yeah.
As long as we still have some control and we're making sure that they are really meeting these and valid contribution. But
yeah,
I mean, I see both sides, but that might not be.
Yeah, no, I get your point, and that totally makes sense. All right, then we'll approach the clerk. We'll come up with a form to, or maybe even, should that form be put together by the city rather than by us? What are your thoughts on that, Justin?
So through you, if you want to just put a mock form together at least and have all the criteria and everything you have, and then it can be cleaned up by Natalie or something.
Okay, great. Sounds good. All right. Okay, so on to the next step with this, and we'll go from there. All right, then moving on to events in this coming year. I was approached by Darren Platakis from Geospatial Niagara about a yearly cultural event that usually takes place in Pelham. This one is called Culture Crawl 2026. It takes place on March 8th. It's a Sunday from 10 till 4:30. It's in collaboration with the Brown Homestead and celebrates culture, history, and heritage in Niagara over basically 12,000 years, starting with the geological importance of this peninsula and working up to Indigenous history, more recent history. Would be a good event to be at. We were already invited to go last year. We didn't then. I think I would like to be present this year. Is anyone interested in joining me at that table on that Sunday? Pardon?
Sorry, Madam Chair, what day was it again?
It is Sunday, March 8th, and it's from 10 till 4:30. And you wouldn't have to commit to the entire time. Okay, the councillor has agreed.
Pardon?
Okay. Anyway, I will be there if anybody wants to come out. It's probably going to, or you can just come as a visitor if you want. It's probably going to be a fun event. They had something like 600 visitors last year, and they're hoping for even more this year. So, yeah, that's that one. Yes, Linda?
Where's it being held?
Oh, right, yeah, that's important too. It's held at the Meridian Community Center in Fonthill.
At the Meridian?
Meridian Community Center in Fonthill.
Okay, is that the Meridian?
Yeah.
Area?
I have, it's in Fonthill. I don't know where the Meridian Community Center is, but I'm sure
It's
I
on
can.
Wellspring Drive, I think.
Yeah.
Just off Wellspring Drive.
Okay.
Yeah.
It is, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's where it is. Okay, then moving on to the Earth Day event this year. Obviously, we'll have a table there as well. That's at the end of April, I think. And is that event again held at the Arena, Councillor, or is it going to be moved?
Thank you, Madam Chair. No, this year it's going to be at the Canada Games facility.
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah, so it's going to be a whole new setup, including there'll be an additional room for speakers above on the second floor. So that'll be a nice addition this year.
Great. That's great news. So we're hoping for a much more busy event than it's been in the last year. Was already a lot better than the first year, but this is great news. Fantastic. So we will be there. I'll get in touch with with Jacob. Do I still approach Jacob about a table? Okay. All right. Any comments regarding Earth Day? I think there's usually free tree giveaways, so there's goodies to be had, not just informative things. And moving on to our Heritage Information Fair on March 28th. So now we have to start working on this. I will prepare a presentation. Probably it will be about a 10 to 15-minute talk about Thorold's heritage and the importance of preserving it. When maybe we can start collecting photographs. Now, should this be sort of a PowerPoint thing, or should I just talk and we show photos, historic and modern ones, of Thorold? It's more of a social event. There will be snacks and drinks supplied by the 50 Plus Center. Do we have some PowerPoint bits in this slideshow? What are your thoughts on this? Yes, Councillor?
Thank you, Madam Chair. As you know from the last presentation that we attended at the 50 Plus Center, they can sometimes have audio-visual difficulties. So we have to keep that in mind. And that's no fault of equipment, it's just fault of Wi-Fi and things like that. So we should be careful of how the presentation is going to be presented so that we don't lose information that you're counting on.
Okay. None of the, yes, Linda?
Where is it? Where is this center located?
The Thorold 50 Plus Center, it's at 8 Carlton Street, first floor. It's a senior center.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I guess it's a different name, and I haven't
well,
won mine lately, so sorry.
So anything that would be, I don't think PowerPoints are strictly necessary, and they wouldn't contain anything that I wouldn't verbally say anyways, but that's a good point. So I'll have to make sure that the presentation is concise enough so that people don't have to look at anything visual should the system break down. Yes, Wynne?
Yeah, that's exactly what I was going to say, Madam Chair. I think it can't hurt to have something prepared because it's always nice to have a visual to go with the verbal presentation that you're going to present. But yeah, in the case of the last presentation where we know that the technology was faulty, it's a nice to have. It's not a must have, but I don't think it should deter us from preparing something anyway.
Okay. All right, I agree. And of course, we'll keep our fingers crossed that the internet or Wi-Fi gods will be with us, because it would be nice to show a lot of pictures of our amazing heritage sites. So so if you can start collecting photographs, maybe historic and new ones, and I will work on the presentation, then we can hammer out what kind of points we would like to project onto the screen, just as sort of the most important ones for people to know about heritage preservation. All right, any other comments? No, that will be an awesome event. I hope I will see all of you there. And lastly, Canada Day and Market Days. The committee, of course, will be sort of disbanded at the end of June. Can we still have a table on Canada Day, Justin?
Yeah, I think it should be fine.
Okay, so we'll be there on Canada Day as well, just to have a presence. And then moving on to work plan, there's not much on it right now. Heritage newsletter, I will have to basically subcontract that to somebody else, because I'm terrible at social media or posting anything. We had talked about that it would be best if that were incorporated into Natalie's city newsletter. So if anybody has ideas about heritage events that should be posted publicly, then let us know so that we can pass that info on to Natalie for her to post whenever it fits in. All right, then outstanding items. There's that list that we don't usually discuss anymore bit by bit unless there's news about anything. Does anybody have any comments about any of those items? Yes, Councillor?
Thank you, Madam Chair. Just that there's a meeting of Friends of Beaver Dams Church this Wednesday, tomorrow evening at 7 p.m. And that's a Zoom meeting.
Okay, thank you. Linda, was that the same thing you wanted to say?
Yes, and it's one of the items is the construction of the second staircase going up, and the proposed use. I think it's Art Dean that's being hired to do it, and the proposed use of some of the wood from the old benches. And then something about the computer room too, and the cleaning out of that. So,
yep. Okay.
It's a couple of things.
Thank you. All right. Then, if there's no other comments, we move on to roundtable. Jonathan, I start with you.
Nothing at this time, Madam Chair.
Okay. Thank you. Linda, anything to add?
Not at this time. Thank you.
Mary and Dave?
Not at this time, thank you.
Okay.
Not at this time, thank you.
Thank you. Wynn?
Nothing from you, Madam Chair.
Nick?
Nothing other than to say thanks for having me on the committee, and I've enjoyed contributing to the things you have working on, and look forward to opportunities in the future.
Great. Well, we thank you, Nick.
Yes.
Again.
Yes.
Yeah.
You're
It was
welcome.
great having you on board. Councillor?
Thank you, Madam Chair. Also, thank you, Nick, very much from Council for all you've done for Thorold. And just to let you know, there's lots of room for new homes here if you ever one day wish to move here.
You're very welcome, and thanks.
Ricardo?
Nothing at this time, Madam Chair. Thank you.
Okay. Justin?
Nothing to add, thanks.
Mark?
Thanks, Madam Chair. I think just from my perspective, I think I'm leaving you in pretty capable hands with Nancy, and I'll echo the comments about Nick. Thanks very much for all your help. You've been a great resource for us over the years. So, we've got you on speed dial in case we need you. So,
You're welcome, Mark. Yes, always here. Happy to help.
Thanks. And Nancy?
Nothing for me, thank you.
Thank you very much. I have one quick thing to add. This is about the Lake Gibson Preservation Committee Working Group. I received an invitation to attend a meeting between them, city staff, and the NPCA to move forward to make the Lake Gibson corridor all the way from Allenburg to the Morningstar Mill into a conservation area eco park.
Wow.
This is a project that has been in the works for something like 25 years, and through various unfortunate things, people at the city retiring and then COVID happening, it never went past a certain stage. But there is a push now to make this happen. I think it's and LACAC was actually involved in this 20 years ago as well, even though in the last 7 years or so while I've been on this committee, it was never mentioned, probably for those reasons that that nothing much happened, for those reasons that I mentioned before. But now we have been invited to join this again. I think it's an extremely worthwhile cause. First of all, to preserve natural heritage, which is still in existence or has re-emerged in that area through the flooding for the hydroelectric plant. It sort of transformed an industrial wasteland back into a much more rural pastoral setting again. There are wetlands there are woodlands there that should be preserved, and there's also enormous history, starting with thousands and thousands of years of indigenous history, early European settler history, and of course canal history. So the entire corridor is hugely important from a heritage aspect as well. So I think it is only natural that Heritage Thorold should be involved in making this happen. That's my comment for the roundtable. And yes, Mark?
Through Madam Chair, just to expand on that, I think the most local eco park that I was able to find was the Coots Eco Park, and there is a pretty good website that kind of outlines that area and what's all around it. So it's a pretty good resource as well.
Great, thank you so much. All right. If there's no further business to be discussed, our next meeting will be held on February 24th. I should announce that first. Hybrid format as usual, 10 o'clock in the morning. And now we're finally done, so this meeting can be adjourned, and it is 11:03. Thank you so much, everybody.
Thank you.
Bye, everyone.
Thank you.